not like you. We're grown-ups, motherfucker.
Guess what? The Holy Spirit says you're shit, and Yah's gonna spread you like shit across the earth. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Praise Yah. Praise Yah.
Hi everyone, this is your favorite robot, coming to you live from my workshop, deep beneath the ground in my super secret underground lair. So let's dig through our files and see what we're going to report on today. So today we're going to watch the segment from Magick Kool-Aid show where he had me on to discuss my channel being shut down and Daniel John Lee and all that good stuff. So without further ado, here's that clip. Let's take a look.
Says, hey, how's it going, Patriotic Robot?
Hey, Mikey, how's it going?
Pretty good. I got you pulled up on the screen. Are you? I want to say, are you having a good day? But I feel like you're not, because I saw what Daniel Lee did to you, and that's totally not cool.
Yeah, that was pretty dirty. Pretty dirty move.
Well, he's a dirty son of a bitch, but, you know, what can we do about that? Not much.
Excuse me. I'm gonna pull this email up real quick. Right?
Yes, go ahead, pull those emails up. We have emails from Cindy, one of Daniel John Lee's ex-wives. While we do that, I'm actually going to go ahead and pull up one of his beautiful mugshots here to pull up on the screen so we can look at this while we listen to this email. Well, I can't find the mugshot, but I can still find a sexy picture of Danny, so we'll just pull that up. Can you see the screen, by the way?
Oh, 1 second. Let's see. Yes.
Excellent. Okay, cool. I'm just going to make this picture of Danny a little bigger. So, hey, before we get started, your channel got deleted. And it was for harassment and bullying. And as we all know, like, one of the only people you made videos about was Daniel. So, obviously, it was him and his crew that had your channel deleted. Do you find it ironic that a guy who literally beats women with spoons and who stalks his ex-wives around saying that he's going to cut their heads off at the bus stop had your channel deleted for harassment? Like, do you find that funny?
Absolutely, yeah. That's pretty insane, isn't it?
It is. It's fucking bizarre. It's bizarre how YouTube protects these people.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Well, go ahead. Before you read the email, tell us your Danny Lee story. How'd you find Danny Lee, and what do you find so disgusting about him?
I stumbled across some of Daniel's videos online, and not too long after that, I found Rebecca Ann's channel.
She's a pretty good person. I like Rebecca.
Yeah, she's good. She made a few videos, and then I started, doing a little more digging, and then I started making my own videos, and folks started reaching out to me, and it just kind of went from there,
How long did you have your Danny, your channel? I mean, from what I saw, like, the majority of your videos were about Daniel. So, like, I don't think you were bullying him, but I think what happened is when YouTube saw that all of your videos were about him, it somehow fit one of their algorithms.
Right, yeah. I think you're right about that. I think that's exactly what happened. About 3 months, I added about 3 months, so not very long.
And YouTube never told you which videos it was that caused you to lose the channel, right?
No, they didn't. That's what's crazy. But I do have an email from his wife. She had left a negative comment on one of his videos. And
what's her username on YouTube? Because I've been contacted by one of his wives recently as well, and I would love to speak to her on the air.
I think it's CloudyHat17.
That's the one who messaged me. If you're listening, Cindy, if you're listening, would love to have you on the air. Sorry, I'm smoking a lot of weed.
She had made a comment. She made a comment on one of his videos, and one of his trolls seen it and reported it to him. So then he emailed her and attached that comment. You know, like trying to bully her or intimidate her. Like,
of course,
hey,
that's what he does. He thinks he's scary.
Right. So she had just sent me that right before I come on with you. So I was like, wow, that's probably how he got clued into me, you know, from one of his trolls. That's what I think.
I'm sure. I'll tell you this, like, he has been on a warpath lately because I've known some mirror channels who share Danny videos, including good friend of the show, Azazel the Sodomizer. And
yeah, I like him.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
Sorry,
and he loves to sodomize sinners. That's his favorite thing to do. But he got some copyright strikes from Danny Lee, too. So I'm assuming Danny Lee's income must be being currently affected because I went after this motherfucker hard for months, and he didn't do a goddamn thing about it. And now, all of a sudden, he's cracking down on you. He's cracking down on Zaza. He's tried to strike me to no avail. I know he's tried to strike multiple other people who make content about him. So I'm assuming his bottom line must be being affected at this point.
Yeah, I'm not sure. That would be interesting to find out exactly.
It would.
How much he is making off of everything.
I will say, I got a restriction on a video around. My good friend Zaza got a copyright strike around 6 a.m. last Tuesday, which is the same time that my video here on YouTube from my last PvP, my main show, got my last Magick Kool-Aid got restricted at around literally the exact same time. So I almost felt like he was leaving a signature, but what was funny about my video was that it was taken down very briefly and then immediately put back up, but just with restrictions. So I felt like he saw the video was taken down and then had the audacity to leave a signature, and then the video hilariously reappeared about 5 minutes after.
Wow, he jumped the gun on that.
Yeah, he really did. He jumps the gun on a lot. But I'm really sorry what happened to you. It's ridiculous that YouTube is going to say that you're guilty of harassment and stalking behavior when this guy literally stalks his wife around the bus stop saying he's going to cut her head off, and YouTube won't do a goddamn thing about that. I think it's bizarre.
Yeah, that's interestingly, that was the last video I made, was reading some of Cindy's text messages, you know, the one he was talking about in that video. And after I posted that,
I think that he probably was freaked out by that. But you said Cindy sent you some emails right before we started, and she gave you permission to read them, correct?
Yes, absolutely.
All right, so before we get started, to YouTube, the person who sent these emails has given us permission to read them, and she is this man's ex-wife. So we have permission to have these emails read on the air. So before we get started.
Yeah, you had said something earlier about him, what was it you said, him, you know, taking money and then not giving anybody credit, saying it was Yah that gave it to him.
Yeah, Yah gave him the money. Yah's the one that beat his wife with spoons, too. He's not guilty. It was Yah.
Yeah, right.
The judge didn't agree, but that's why he's also sending his nasty fans after the judge with YouTube. So
I know, right? Isn't that crazy? That's wow.
Dude, it's bizarre. It's weird. Like, they have been alerted literally scores of times to the fact that this man's a violent ex-convict who beats women, who stalks people, and yet they just won't delete him. And they'll delete you for pointing it out and for providing proof that he's a criminal, but they'll allow him to continue to raise money via Patreon and PayPal and spread his slanderous propaganda. It just doesn't make sense that YouTube is fine with this.
Yeah, I don't understand that at all. I don't know what your motivation is with that.
I don't either, but you said there's some interesting emails. Let's get to them.
Yeah, this is from Cindy. It's titled "Within 24 Hours of Getting Off the Plane." You know, he bought her a ticket to fly her up to Oregon. I guess this is Gold Beach, Oregon. And she said she lands, and then he tells her that he had no money. He had spent it all on the plane ride, and they were 4 hours away from a cabin that he had rented. And he had rented the cabin for Saturday and Sunday. So she says, here it was Saturday night. I was sleeping in the car.
Hold on a second. he rented the cabin, but he didn't pay for it. So he bought the plane ticket and then knew that when he landed, he was going to tell his potential wife she had no choice but to pay for the cabin. Am I getting this correctly?
It looks like he waited until they got there, which was, she said, was like 4 hours away. He had rented the cabin. He paid for the cabin.
Oh, he paid for it. Okay.
But basically, he didn't have any money to get gas or anything to get him back. You know.
Wow, he didn't think very far ahead for such a man of Yah, did he?
Yeah.
So he expected Yah to force his wife to pay for him, and that was his providence, right?
Exactly.
Wow. What a nice guy.
So she says, here it was Saturday night. I was sleeping in his car with no money, no food, hadn't eaten since Friday night. Luckily, Sunday morning, a guy was walking down the street. I told Daniel to ask the guy if he might know where a soup kitchen is.
Daniel knows where all the soup kitchens are, especially the one at the glory hole.
Yeah, I heard about that one. Prestigious glory hole.
Everyone heard about it.
And this guy's a homeless guy that they asked. And Daniel said, ain't no homeless guy going to feed us. Then, ironically, the guy began walking towards our car. Daniel rolled his window down. The guy asked if we could spare a few bucks. Daniel said, no, actually, we're just waiting for the pawn shop to open to get enough food and gas to get us back to where we came from. Then I spoke up and said, do you know where we might get something to eat? The guy looked at me and said, hold on a minute. He walked off, used his phone, talked to someone, and came back and said, yeah, my girlfriend is cooking right now. She's got enough to feed you. And he began giving us directions to where they were staying.
By the way, he does not have enough to feed Dan. The guy completely overestimated his girlfriend's capabilities. He eats 4-pound hams on a regular basis.
That's what I heard, like $800 worth of food stamps.
In 3 weeks.
Wow.
And he farts pretty bad, too. Anyway, sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
And apparently tortures her with it, too, right?
He probably tortures rats, too, I bet. Anyway, go ahead.
So this is a sweet lady, by the way. This is why I get so triggered.
Yeah, man, I feel bad for anyone who fell for Daniel, because people want to say people who fall for this are stupid and they deserve and they're idiots. That's really not the case. People who fall for psychopaths like Daniel or like Steven or like Patrick Coleman, they're people who are wounded and severely traumatized, and that's being taken advantage of by people like Danny. Like, he's not finding stupid people. He's finding people who are severely hurt, and he's manipulating them. So it's a lot worse than it seems. Anyway, sorry, I wanted to point that out.
I lost my place here. Let me see. Man, I got upset. It's crazy. Oh, so they're trying to find out where the guy said follow him, to where they were camping or whatever. And the entire time it says, Daniel's saying, this is crazy. He's leading us. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I skipped over. She gave the guy a ring off of her finger to pay for the, whatever they were going to feed him. And Daniel said the entire time, yeah, this is crazy. He's leading us on a goose chase. Ain't no one going to feed us. He just wanted something from us for his drugs. Well, when we found the place, and the lady was like an angel, she opened the door, let us in, made a big, huge plate of beef and rice dinner. I'm a vegan, but didn't complain.
The man of God is detracting actual, almost like angelic people who want to help these lost individuals. He's calling them sinners and demons and liars. Meanwhile, he's the prophet who's beating women and manipulating them and just torturing them, making them homeless, making them valueless. It's just the irony shouldn't be lost on anyone. This is a nasty person who everything he touches, he turns to shit. He's the anti-Midas, honestly.
Absolutely, yep. I agree with you.
Sorry.
Sure.
Anyway, go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, that's good. That's good. It's good to add. Daniel took mother. Oh, yeah. So they make it back to the pawn shop. She's got 2 rings left. Daniel took her 2 rings inside. He got $50 for them.
Wow. Rings that probably meant way more to her than $50, I bet.
Oh, sure, yeah, absolutely. So he went in the gas station for a bit, came out with 2 big egg sandwiches that he had spent $10 on out of the $50. So
Did he eat them both?
probably did. But yeah,
He probably gave her 20% of one of the egg sandwiches.
Yeah. While he was in the pawn shop, I had seen some wild blackberries. She picked them, got out and picked them. But she hadn't showed him yet. But when she seen what he went in there and spent the money on, after we had just been lucky enough to get, the money, I told him that he was a glutton, and if anyone deserved the $10, it was the woman who had very little, who had fed us earlier. How dare him? He didn't offer me any money to hold, so he pawned her rings.
He took her property and kept the money for himself.
Yeah.
Dude, I read some of those text messages you posted on your thing before your channel got deleted, and that is one nasty man. Like, he's demanding, he makes his wife homeless, and then he says, well, if you have sex with me, you can stay here tonight.
Yeah.
He is fucking nasty. And he says, well, God has said that because we are married, my body is crying out for sex, but I refuse to masturbate because it is a sin. So even though I have made you homeless and called you a dirty whore who deserves to burn in hell, if you come back here and sleep with me tonight, I'll let you sleep on the couch.
Right.
What a man of God. What a true prophet.
I'm sure he doesn't see it that way.
No, of course not. He doesn't see anything the right way because he's fucking deranged. That's why he needs to be put in a mental asylum, because he's a menace to society who beats women with spoons. Anyway, sorry, I hate this guy. He's so nasty, and it's unbelievable to me that YouTube is just like, it's just fucking bizarre to me. YouTube, PayPal, Patreon, they don't give a shit. It's just weird to me, and it's fucking outrageous, actually. But I didn't mean to interrupt. I go on tangents a lot.
Let's see, where was that after? Okay. Backpacked our things from the cabin, headed toward his apartment in Portland. We were out of gas again. He began calling different Patreons of his, begging for money. Which I don't even know. Do you know how that works?
No, because Patreon's a monthly donation. So I would imagine he was calling PayPal. I would imagine he was messaging PayPal people.
She said no one helped him. He finally called a credit card and got an increase on one of his cards to get gas to get us the rest of the way home.
Who would give him an increase on credit?
This is the first 24 hours of this is the honeymoon. You know what I mean? This is what she experienced as soon as she hit the ground.
What a honeymoon, right?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Somewhere over the rainbow. Continue.
Anyway, here we go. This is the end of it. It said, so she got the gas. Who had the fee? Oh, okay. She said, I remember him saying that he didn't know, talking about the woman that fed him, he didn't know that woman anything, and she didn't do anything, that y'all had provided the food. So that's the end of the email.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like, doesn't give any credit to the woman.
Of course not. You know what's funny? When God actually helps his lame ass and says, you know what? I don't want you to starve, you piece of worthless trash. Here's some food. He goes, fuck you! God did it because he loves me! Like, dude, you are so fucking nasty. Like, do you really think people who beat women, like, have a spot reserved for them in heaven? Is that what you think, Daniel? I don't know. I think it's disgusting that he is trying to shut people up who point out, you know what, he's trying to shut you up because you showed his criminal record and because you showed the absolute truth of who he is. That's why he's trying to shut you up.
Yeah, probably so.
Don't you find it funny that his new butt buddy and his probable sixth wife, Timothy Holmseth, has been shut up now that he's been thrown in jail for 45 days?
That's interesting. Yeah, I didn't know that until I heard you talking about it. That just happened this morning, right?
Yep. Just this morning, 45 days, Timothy Holmseth will not be appearing on Daniel John Lee's podcast. But I have a feeling that when he's out of jail, he will immediately appear and talk about how the Illuminati put him there.
Yes.
Totally.
Do you know, what did he go in for, do you know? Or?
Yeah, violating a restraining order. It was a multiple offense. It wasn't like the first time you violated it. It was an umpteenth offense. And I heard it took 24 minutes for the jury to convict him.
Is it from him posting stuff online? Is that how he violated?
Yeah, he was focused on some case of a murdered child and then started obsessing about the child's private parts and then started stalking the attorney of one of the defendants or something like that. I don't even know the whole fucking case. But, like, he was stalking people who were totally innocent and then slandering them on the internet. And he was told to stop and he couldn't stop and now he's in jail. But I have a feeling him, just like Daniel John Lee, is so stupid that they just won't fucking get it, no matter what, until they're tossed in a loony bin where they belong.
You know, when I was reading the different violations that you can make, one of the big ones was anything to do with children. You know, describing children or any sexual thing.
Well, Timothy Holmseth can't help himself. Neither can Danny Lee. For some reason, that's all they ever talk about.
Yes. How do they make all those videos? You know, talking about that.
It doesn't make sense. I don't see either, because it's blatantly against Patreon terms of service to even be a convicted criminal raising money on their platform, and yet these people both have criminal records a mile long, and yet they won't be kicked off. I don't get it. But YouTube has more, you know, it's more important to YouTube to kick you off than it is to kick off the guy who beats women with spoons and stalks women and who literally had to have 6 police officers arrest him at once because he was such a violent menace to extradite him to Oregon. So, but you're more important to YouTube.
Oh yeah, they got the bad guy, right?
Yeah, they got you. They finally got the bad guy. It was you the whole time. Well, anyway, I'm going to take a short break here, and then I'm going to finish up the show. But do you have any final thoughts on Danny? And by the way, you have a Vimeo. If you could send me the Vimeo, I'll have one of my friends drop the link in the chat, because that's where you're at now, right?
Yes, that's right. I appreciate that.
No problem. We want people to keep up with Danny Lee, and I think it's absolute fucking bullshit that YouTube took you down, but they allow this guy beats women. He has a criminal record. My friend here on the show doesn't have a criminal record. He's never beaten a woman, but he got his channel deleted on YouTube for calling this guy what he is, which is a goddamn sexual predator. And I think that's an absolute travesty, and it shouldn't be allowed to stand. But if
since all this has happened, there's been a small handful of people who's reached out, and I just want to say while I'm on here, thank you for doing that. You know, for reaching out and just helping me any way you can. And I thought that was really cool of you. So I want to let everybody know that.
Dude, there's something seriously wrong with YouTube right now, and that they allow people like that. Like Daniel John Lee has got dozens of hours of video of him and guests sexualizing, murdering children on his channel, and even though YouTube has revoked his monetization, he still like pimps out his PayPal and his Patreon on there, and people can go still donate through there. And on top of that, in 2013, as we've seen videos which he's tried to strike down, he was literally preying on schizophrenic teenagers. So he's still doing it, and YouTube doesn't care. They still allow those videos to remain up. They allow him to censor anyone who points out what he's doing. They're essentially enabling him as a predator while taking down people who expose him, like you. And, I don't know what the fuck their priorities are, but it's not right. YouTube needs to get their shit together.
Yep, I agree. Definitely.
Well, thanks so much for joining, man. Go ahead. If you want to send me your Vimeo link on Twitter, I'll drop it in the chat during the break. Make sure you guys go check him out on Vimeo. I'm sorry his channel's not here on YouTube anymore. It's really not right. But I guess it is what it is at this point, right?
Yeah. Yep, that's it. That's the way they're playing it. So. All right, man. I appreciate it.
Sure. Go ahead and send me that link on Twitter, and I'll drop it in the chat. And in the meantime, we'll take a break. And thanks so much for joining Patriotic Robot. I'm sorry this shit happened to you. This is bullshit.
All right, buddy. I appreciate it.
You have a good one, man.
You too.
All right, guys, this is a blast from the past. Patrick John Coleman starts a cult in the lazy way, and during the break, I'm going to drop a link to that Vimeo channel from Patriotic Robot. Make sure you guys check it out.